How we all doing today? How we all doing today? Sweet. Sounds good. Looks good. We're going to jump into it. Welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, I want to continue the conversation from what we started talking about in yesterday's live stream, and that is the hunt for top AI altcoins. And I've been looking at these over the course of the last year, kind of on and off. But as my thesis grows for this alt season or the next potential alt season, I really do believe that getting in the right AI altcoins would be the play should we get an alt season sometime within the near future. Now, we've talked about that quite a bit. I'm happy to get into that more during that live stream if anyone's wondering about. And really, my thesis right now, in a nutshell, as much as possible, is that the last two alt seasons have followed this flow of money. And we are right now in phase two. That is Ethereum season. So we can show that by going to Bitcoin dominance or Ethereum dash Bitcoin. And we can see Ethereum's value is rising against that of Bitcoin. Yes, we are hitting some resistance. But even here, you can see this overall downtrend that we have finally flipped to the positive side on the MACD. This was in August of this year. We haven't been here since March of 23, so it's been a while. And so I take a look at this. I see strength and momentum flipping to the positive side. I see us in Ethereum season. And I know Bitcoin had that classic 4-year top or around a 4-year top. But again, my thesis has been that when you look at Bitcoin and you see it on a log regression like we have here, that we stretch the x-axis, which is the factor of time. And so I still believe the cycle top is coming. We can even go to the average after the halving chart and take a look at this. And we've had an alt season around that 4-year cycle peak in 2017. But our alt season in 2021 happened a little bit earlier. It happened not within the 4-year cycle top. It happened earlier than that. And we can see that reflected in Bitcoin dominance. And so right here, you can see April 21. So I believe my thesis in a nutshell is that each alt season gets stretched or each peak. And so I am looking for more of a stretch this time around. And should you believe in alt season, the question is, which altcoins do you buy? So altcoins, they're really an educated gamble. And I talked about this in yesterday's video. I believe that when looking for good altcoins that will run during an alt season or even outside of an alt season, I weigh each altcoin based off its level of risk and its level of potential. And so when I look at the number one altcoin, Ethereum, I think Ethereum is one of, if not the lowest risk altcoins, but what's its potential? Is it going to do a 10x and go to 30K? Probably not. It's not going to do a 10x and go to $3.6 trillion within these next 3 years. But this could do maybe a 3x. So I see, high floor, low risk, but also lower-ish, low to medium potential. I see inversely an altcoin like Doge, which in 2017 didn't really do too much, but last cycle in 2021, Doge was the darling altcoin. And this one, after it's already run, and this is a meme coin, an inflationary meme coin that gets, they can print more supply. I see Doge as a medium to higher risk altcoin with medium potential. And as I go down this list, I could talk about a lot of different altcoins, but let's get to the subject in hand, and that is AI, artificial intelligence altcoins. Now, during this video today, I'm not going to get into the weeds of what each altcoin promises, what their AI shtick or spiel is. We are just going to take a look at these altcoins. And with my limited amount of knowledge on some of these altcoins, I can let you know, just full disclosure, I have a little bit of position in some of these altcoins, such as Chainlink, Near, ICP, I know, make fun of me all you want, and FET, Artificial Superintelligence. Been in there since it was fetch.ai. Now, I've talked about the graph before. Some of you have requested it. I've been talking to some fellow crypto people about virtuals. Some people really like virtual. Some people really like render. I even know there's a big community that supports Tau. And so we're going to look at the technical analysis of those. And if you are watching and if you like any of these altcoins, please comment below, because again, we're not here today to debate, whether we're in a 4-year cycle, a 5-year cycle, whatever that is. I think Wall Street being involved in crypto, that these cycles are going to be different. What we are here to discuss is, which of these AI coins might have some of the best potential. Chainlink, even AI aside, I believe is a very high floor, so like, what would I say? Lower risk, but higher potential altcoin. From the research I've done, that's what I believe. I'm not telling you to buy it. That's just what I've seen from it. And I am a big fan of Chainlink. Hopefully I muted the mic. I had to get a sneeze out there. Excuse me. So, Chainlink, at least according to a couple different websites that talk about the top artificial intelligence altcoins by market cap, Chainlink is the leader. And, it lists it as the number 18 overall crypto, but when you go to Coin Market Cap, it's the number 13th. So, yeah, I'm not sure what that ranking system's about, but we're going to go through these. And again, if you have any comments on any of these altcoins, whether you're watching live or in replay, I'd love to know your thoughts. I know there's people who are very bearish on ICP, and I think Internet Computer is one of those higher risk, very high potential plays. I hate its chart, but that's more of an educated gamble. Even fetch.ai, now Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. I think fetch.ai, they combined, they sync the company with like Ocean Protocol or something. And FET is one of those that I believe if we do get an alt season, this is my hypothesis right now. You're welcome to disagree. I believe if we got an alt season, the average dumb retail person, they're gonna see an altcoin with this name. They won't care what it does, how legit it is or isn't, and they'll be like, you know what, I'm buying the AI crypto. I want to make big money. If we got into an alt season at the time of euphoria, I do not see people ignoring this altcoin. So I do have a position in FET, because I believe it could run with a narrative such as that. So anyways, without any further ado, let's get into some altcoin analysis. Hope you are all doing well. I really enjoyed the live stream yesterday, where we talked about anything and everything, all things crypto. So first, let's get into Chainlink. Now, Chainlink, I kind of like to go back to what it did, from the alt season in 2017. This one's been around a while. You can see there the price was around 19 cents, and it topped at about $1.25. Now, back in 2017, I knew nothing about Chainlink. Never heard of the altcoin. I didn't hear about it until sometime later last cycle, but you could see it got to this floor of about 25 cents to 50 cents, and eventually it topped out at $50. So we're not talking about a 10x. We're talking about a coin that if you were lucky enough to get in near the bottom, you did a 100x on Chainlink. And this chart, at least from 2017 to 21, What a great chart. It just rode the 50-week moving average, it touched the 100 once. That was COVID. That's how strong it was, and went all the way up. Now, since that peak, Chainlink had this nice bottom. I bought some Chainlink in here because that is some of the best looking accumulation that I've ever seen. We even see a bottoming in the MACD and it just slowly grinding up. See the MACD nearly getting all the way positive and still getting Chainlink at a price of around $5. So I'm like, you know what? If it ever returns to the all-time high, which I am betting on, that's a 10x right there. So I was very happy to buy Chainlink for any price under the 236, which is about $8. And since that time, Chainlink, we've had these three peaks: February 24, here in December 24, and just recently in August of 25. Now, looking at this, I've seen people talk about this on Twitter. People talk about these head and shoulders patterns they've seen with Link. We had one back here, and again, if you don't know what a head and shoulder is, and I don't subscribe to all the head and shoulder stuff too much, but if you draw from the neckline to the head, you take an equal distance from that or close to that, and that is about the measured distance you will get from a break. And pretty much, I mean, that is a perfect head and shoulders sort of pattern right there, the way it played out. But people are also talking about, like, Chainlink's in another head and shoulders right here. And, maybe those people are right. Maybe we're going to continue to get a little bit of a flush. Maybe Bitcoin goes down and bottoms at around 70K instead of 80K. Who knows? But if a head and shoulders pattern like that were to play out, again, we would measure from the neckline, which you could argue is right there. And we're just going to go from a candle body top right here. We'll be conservative in our bearishness and say, you know what, if Chainlink broke down, it might get back to these range lows right here at $6, right? I don't know if that's going to happen. No one knows. But I'm telling you, if it does, I am definitely buying a lot of Chainlink at that point. I'm not telling you what to do. But if that happens, I will be buying a lot of Chainlink if it ever gets anywhere near $6 again. I love all the research I've read on Chainlink. And no, I'm not trying to shill you Chainlink. I'm just sharing what I believe. Again, you can hate Chainlink, and that is absolutely fine. And actually, people who are looking to make money in the crypto world, I think there's a lot of reasons not to like Chainlink for all intents and purposes. You can see how well it did last cycle, but when you take a look at this cycle, Chainlink was ranging between around $5.5 to $8, and even at best, if you sold the absolute top, let's go to candle body here. You maybe get a 3x, if you're just kind of going from the middle there, 300% return. So not the best, still within that short of a time frame, a year, not the worst either, but we expect more from our altcoins. So this is the bearish case scenario. Now we've drawn a bunch of head and shoulders, and what else do we see from Chainlink? We see Chainlink struggling in this golden pocket area. What's the golden pocket? High to low, that is the 618 to the 0.65. Now we've gotten above it, but let's zoom in and actually take a closer look. I like Heikin-Ashi candles, but as far as candles go, I believe the more important part of a candle is the candle body, not the wick. And you see here, we never really had candle bodies truly doing an upward move. We were just sort of hovering here and making lower highs, lower lows. Eventually it broke down, right? And even here at the 6.5, we had about a month's worth of time, but really we had a big impulsive move up, and then we just sort of fell apart again. So getting past this area is when I believe things can get very positive for Chainlink. So again, I'm going to say this for a lot of the altcoins. What matters more than any of this analysis is your altcoin being chosen, is picking the right altcoin. If you believe in alt season and you are positioning yourself financially to benefit from alt season, the number one problem to solve to benefit from alt season is picking the right altcoin. So, that's the number one goal. And again, that's why I weigh each altcoin as far as its potential versus its level of risk. And Link being known as an AI coin right now, I mean, I love it. I love that that is a narrative attached to it. Now, what I did here is I took our Fibonacci, and let's get rid of this here, that MACD, we don't need it. And I took the Fibonacci off of log scale to show you some of these potential returns. You can see here that here are all the targets. We can even add on, I've seen this pop up quite enough, so we're going to add it in here as well. I want to add the 1.236 to our chart as well. Let's do that. So I believe here are targets to watch for in a very bullish scenario for Chainlink. Now, what about last cycle? How did Chainlink do from 20? There we go. Let's get rid of this here. I don't know what's that's about. How did it do from the 2017 peak to the low here? Now you can go to either low there, but we'll go to the absolute wick low. You can see Chainlink, again, I blew it out of the water. This thing did a 100x. So, if we were to draw that out, we can take a look at, let's maybe let's add a factor of 10. Let's see what pops up there. Yeah, it was even higher than that. Sometimes with these Fibonacci numbers, 30, no, let's do 40. There we go. And so when we were taking a look at the Fib, this got all the way up to 40, which is just absolutely crazy. Now, I don't believe this is going to happen again. Each cycle we have diminished returns. And so I take a look at this cycle and Chainlink, which is very well known. It's the number 12th or whatever overall crypto. And I think these are realistic targets. I also think you have to consider what each target would be by market cap. So we have 9.5 billion. Let's just say 10 billion. We're going to round up. And so if Chainlink at around $14 has a 10 billion market cap, all right, what if Chainlink did close to a 10x? Do we have anything near there? We have the 2618. That would be a 10x to the 2618 right here from where we are right now, which would mean Chainlink would have a market cap of $100 billion. And so this is a question I ask myself when I take a look at altcoin and their potential. I say, I have my altcoins I like. I have my strategy on how to dollar cost average in. Where am I going to dollar cost average out? Where are the areas that I'm going to take profits no matter what? Just considering that would be a very big psychological number by market cap, 100 billion. I think it would be foolish not to take a decent amount of profits right here if that were to ever come to pass. Now, if Chainlink got to 200, my God, I mean, if you're not selling by there, I think you are very foolish. So again, yes, Chainlink did 100x here. Are we looking for a 10x? Are we looking for a 15x? And again, it depends what your average position is. But those are some of the areas or price targets I'm looking for as far as where to buy and where to sell. So let's put our Fib back on log scale. And again, if you're coming here a little bit later, talked about the most bearish case scenario for Chainlink. But this is our very top AI crypto as far as this chart goes. Next, let's take a look at Tau. I've wanted to take a look at Tau a little bit more because when I go over Reddit, Twitter, the Tau as a community of people who really believe in it and talk about it. Now you can see I have a couple fibs drawn here, so let's take off one of these right here. We'll clean it up. And so where do I have these drawn? I have this one. It's microfib drawn from this high to low. And you can see Tau, it's breaking under the 382. The 236 would be coming up here at about 239. And actually, I kind of like Tau if it was on the daily more, just with how recent this chart is. I like the daily for a better view. And right now, this thing's bearish, okay? Currently got rejected by not just the 20-day moving average, but the 382 being under that is not good. We want to see strength come back into this. And I'm not going to go over all the RSIs and everything for every single altcoin. I do want to start running through this a little bit quicker for each of the altcoins. But if we zoom out, are we seeing any signs? I mean, being under the RSI average line is never good. But if we were to break above it, see that yellow line? If Tau can break above this again, I think that would be, one of the things to look for. But right here, we have this base. We're getting these lows. I'd want to see sort of a reversal in the RSI, the MACD, all that. So right now, that's where Tau is as far as on the fib and what I'm looking for there. Let's go to, I'm just going to chart this. I don't always like charting these wicks because some of them don't make sense. Here with Tau, I'd say, I struggle with, I'll tell you, I struggle with charting this wick too, just because that was the largest crypto liquidation event, and this is Binance nonsense. So I'm just going to go from this one here. When we do that, when we draw a fib from that high to low, you see this 236 has been hit quite a bit. And, I wonder, this is on Binance, but do we have Tau on any others? How about, here we go, MEXC. Sometimes MEXC has better charts too. And this is why I wanted to see if we had other charts, because right here, I think this does a good job showing us that we are in somewhat of a wedge pattern formation here, and that Tau is ranging. And if you were to just, however you draw this wedge, all things considered, you might look at Tau and be like, maybe somewhere around 257 would be a good deal. Again, we're just looking for price target areas, and this is from high to low right here, almost a double bottom. Don't love, again, it being under the 382, but it did get close to that 236. So you can see how all those trend lines, or all those wicks, I should say, kind of hit that perfectly. So Tau, I talk about in my channel a lot, things I look for as far as strength. We're not going to go through all that. But if this is an AI crypto you like, I think it's getting close to that dollar cost average territory, but I'd want to see a little bit more confirmation. Near protocol, I've talked about this one a bit, so let's not spend as much time on it. I've talked about near protocol a bit. This isn't looking so good right here. So here, I want to call this a double top just because this is kind of all stuck together. I will say, in prior crypto cycles, I've seen exactly this from 2017 to 21. We, had the big pump. We have sort of that dead cat bounce pump, and then things come back down. So near protocol looking very bearish right now. As far as where it is, it's just kind of following the 20-week moving average. If we go to the daily, you see how that 200 is very heavy resistance right there. So near protocol not looking the best there. If this thing were to continue to go down, I might be looking for some of these levels again in the low $1 range for near. But this one, as far as potential, we have a nice fib high to low. Let's take a look at the fib levels when we go off log scale. We'll go to the weekly again. There we go, and we'll zoom out. And if near ever broke out, these are some of the levels we're looking at. Could you imagine near doing dang near a 16x or 20x from here, or going up even further? Again, if you're going to dollar cost average in, and if we get an alt season, if this AI coin is one of the chosen, have your levels ready now, or at least as part of your strategy. Moving forward. Peak 8296, thank you for being here. You have commented, I've come to the conclusion that, what does that say? It's like, I have this little emoji thing right in front of your comment. It's driving me crazy. That everyone in crypto has absolutely no idea what's going to happen in the near future. That's anything in life, isn't it? But what we do here, Peak, is we follow the chart data, we follow the flow of money, and we make our best educated sort of guesses based off that. So there's a lot of different theories out there about different cryptos. Not sure how late into the live stream you're coming in, but one of the things I'm looking at, or my hypothesis, is that the last two alt seasons, they have followed this flow of money. We have quantitative easing returning, and Ethereum season has been front running that. Let's go back to ETH Bitcoin. So yeah, we go to ETH Bitcoin right here. If we add on the U.S. central bank balance sheet, won't spend too much time on this because I want to keep talking about all those AI altcoins. You can see how Ethereum, the number one altcoin, bottomed in its value paired against Bitcoin last cycle when quantitative tightening ended. Now, we bottomed far before QE coming back. So I think being in a macro bubble, the Shiller P ratio is getting towards those record high levels. And again, my thesis is I believe the AI bubble will be even a little bit bigger than the .com bubble, and that 2026 will surprise people. So Sergio says LOL +1. Yeah, I mean, hey, as far as our strategies, how to make money, and this isn't to put you down or to make fun of you, so please don't take this as a passive aggressive comment. But when I see people feeling really bearish, or that, it's over, let's just give up, to me, that's usually a good sign when we're in the bear market, when we have extreme amounts of fear. People they like to say, hey, I'm going to buy low, sell high. Well, that's not always easy, because to buy low means you have to buy when things are ugly. When people, that's my cat's feeder in the background. You have to buy when people are frustrated and giving up on things, because you've probably seen the social interest for Bitcoin. It's not great right now. However, I think medium to long-term buying opportunities are pretty good. And again, this video, we're taking a look at these AI altcoins, because should we get an alt season in the coming future, I believe AI altcoins will be part of the chosen. And if you get in the right AI altcoin, if you pick the right one, I think you will do very well in that getting in when things are fearful and ugly, getting in somewhat of a position. I'm hoping that benefits me, and hopefully some of you out there as well. So anyways, we took a look at NEAR. Let's go over to ICP, Internet Computer. And again, ICP, this one is, it's one of the most hated altcoins out there. I feel a lot of people love to make fun of it. And when you take a look at a chart like this, like, why wouldn't you? So if you, by the way, factor in this price of ICP, its market cap doesn't even make sense. ICP was never $2,800, despite what the chart might tell you. So I look at this, I'm like, well, where would we start our Fibonacci? And I go from just where this high is right here, because that was some real price action. In ICP, we had these lows here, and then recently right around the greatest crypto liquidation event ever. Again, these wicks happened on Binance, so when we look at Binance charts, you will see these wicks. You won't see those wicks in many other places. So just remember, that's what those wicks are about. And when we factor in that low, we have hit that again. Now, ICP, not looking great at all. All right, this one, it's breaking down completely. It's an ugly chart. There's no two ways about it. But you can easily draw a trend line and say, you know what? If we ever see, actually, we can shorten that trend line. Let's do that. This would give you, I think, a good area to watch for possible breaks. So let's take that trend line. I don't know why the computer's being a little glitchy there. There we go. We'll just draw it there. I don't think, usually these wedges, they don't squeeze until the very end. But if we ever break above that 236, as well as that trend line, I think that'll be good for any ICP truthers. And also, look at these peaks. These peaks have hit that 100 week moving average. So the 100-week moving average and that trend line, we have the 200-week near the 0.5. As far as charts, this is ugly. There's no two ways about it. At around $3 to even get to the 200 and the 0.5, at around $15, that's some good resistance too. Do we have anything to show us, that there's some promise potential? Here's the MACD. Overall, you see that negative trend. Again, we're watching the moving averages, lower high, lower low. When altcoins do well, at least in prior cycles, the MACD will keep coming up. And when it's about to cross above the zero line and show a break of prior trends before, so getting above the zero line, I think would be a good sign that we're trending in the right direction. That is one of those indicators you can watch for, as well as on the RSI. Are we seeing any divergence in strength? Right now, we just had our lowest amount of oversold, and really this is a nice, I like this as an RSI right here. I mean, you can see that right there. You see those descending peaks. We also see the descending bottoms right here. Let's draw that out too. We see those descending bottoms. Now RSIs, they can totally bottom out and just shoot up. But I like to look for bullish divergences on the RSI. We are above the weekly RSI here, but I do believe we're probably going to get another flush. And if the RSI can make a higher low while the price kind of stays, somewhere around $3, I think that won't be too bad for ICP. But, again, crypto, it's an ironic space. During alt seasons, very random, hated things run. Dogecoin used to be very hated, very stupid, and it ran against anyone's sort of predictions back in 2021. So again, crypto can be an ironic place. And I think picking up, if you believe in ICP at all, taking an educated gamble on it near that $3-ish range wouldn't be the worst. Next, let's go to Render. Render is another one of those cryptos that has a decent community. We have Gemini taking up all the charts there. And yeah, again, looking at this this RSI, that's just bearish. Okay, there's no bullish divergence or anything. That's just straight up bearish. And Render, from this fib, you can see, where was I drawing that high to low here? I have a low to high drawn, right, from this low in June of 22 to the high. We had about a 382 pullback, and then it just fell apart. And not only did it blast through that 0.5 fib, it does look like it's going to be coming down to the golden pocket area. So if you really like Render, I'd be taking a look at possibly that 618 holding up at around a buck 23 right there. I do want to try doing a Fibonacci retracement inverted right here, and we'll go from the very top as well. So we're off log scale right now, and you can see Render hit that 1618 quite nicely. That's where people were taking their profits, and right now it's fallen under at 618. I like this high to low a little bit better. There's the 0.5 there at around a buck 34, buck 35. Let's take a look at this under the MACD as well, and then we'll go to our next crypto. So yeah, this is pretty negative right here. But however, you see how we're being stretched out in the MACD moving average. If we can make a higher low, I do think this could be possibly a sign of the trend reversing, even if prices come down to that 0.5 at a buck 35. So if you like Render and you believe it's going to be one of the chosen AI altcoins, I'd be taking a look at possibly picking some up at a buck 36. So let's move to the next AI altcoin. And I think, we're not going to go through all these. I mean, my God, hell no. I've talked about Graph before, and let's do maybe Theta. Yeah, let's go through these. I mean, I'll go through Fetch and Graph hopefully a little bit quicker. IP Story. That one's curious. I have not seen this one before. So when I saw this on multiple lists of AI altcoins, I was sort of surprised. The number 74 crypto, market cap of $725 million. It's under $1 million. All right. Yeah, number 73 currently. I want to scroll down and take a look at it on this list. Yeah, it's right by Bonk. Funny enough, some of you are Bonk lovers. So yeah, let's take a look at IP and see what this chart looks like. I'll be taking a look at this for the first time with you all. So IP US perpetual contract story, such US dollar. Coinbase looks like it might have a good chart. I'm assuming this isn't the oldest chart though. Bybit, yeah, Tether. Maybe this is a newer altcoin. No, I mean maybe. You know what? I'm just kind of looking at some of these. Let's just stick with the Coinbase one. Yeah, we'll go through. We'll just go based off that. So really, we're not going to have a lot of data here because how new this chart is. Again, you see that massive wick that happened during that largest crypto liquidation event ever. Here we're on the weekly. We have to be on an even smaller time frame. I'm probably going to do even. I think the daily's okay. Yeah, let's go with the daily. Let's run with that. And we're going to do we're going to do low to high. We're going to go all the way from back here, go low to high. And this thing has come all the way back down and had a full 786 retracement. So when I see an altcoin like this, even sort of losing that 786, I would not be shocked to see IP come down to these levels, even where it wicked. If we take a look at some of those other indicators, how about let's do RSI again? Yeah, the RSI is pretty bottomed out. Now, I do like this, okay? I don't know if you guys quite see that, but this low being oversold is higher than that. And you see how the price went lower, but the strength went higher. That's what's known as bullish divergence. So that is good. And at least on the daily, it did, recently from this moment, from the high, it rode that yellow moving average in the RSI all the way down. We did get above it. And if we continue to make higher lows here in the RSI, we might be close to a bottom here, somewhere around the $2 to $1.78 range. So watch for that. See where IP is able to stabilize if this is one you like. Also, again, the moving average, we have the 20-day moving average. If this thing shows that it's going to flatten out and we're going to find some level of structure here around the 786, I don't think that is the worst time to pick some up if you like the research you do on a AI altcoin such as IP Story. All right, let's next take a look at FET, or formerly Fetch.ai. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I want to be clear about my positions that I have. I do have some FET, so don't buy any all because I have some. I'm just a random person on YouTube, but full disclosure, I do have some FET as part of my portfolio for altcoins. So FET, one of the things, I was just playing around with the chart a little bit back, and I noticed we have these ascending peaks and ascending bottoms that kind of fit nicely within this massive channel, right? It's not the most perfect channel, but it's definitely a channel. And what I also notice is that this channel kind of bisects where that 382 is. The 382 is where we've had support before, and that is at around 17 cents. So FET, it's recently been at the 0.5. It's kind of losing the 0.5. If we go to the daily, maybe we're getting a higher low here. But again, when things are bearish, how often do we see this 20 moving average kind of lead the way? And so you see it just die, lose the 20, and then boom, out of nowhere, get back to the macro golden pocket, continue to show weakness. So I have a feeling Fetch is maybe going to come down here to 17 cents. If so, I like this as dollar cost average potential at those levels. I did want to take a look at RSI as well as MACD. I mean, RSI, that's just bearish. There's no divergence there. That's just bearish in general, but we are oversold. And we even got as oversold as FET was all the way back here when it was 6 cents. So I was lucky enough to pick up some FET back here in the 6-7 cent range. I was happy with my investment back then. So you know, again, if this RSI holds up and we start to move up, you know, you're not going to stay oversold forever. But if we start to move up, I do think this range of 17 to 25 cents would not be bad for the long term. Is it going to be the absolute bottom? Hard to say, but you know, we look for good values. And again, the number one thing to do with altcoins is to pick the right one. And so, you know, FET is one that I believe in an alt season environment. You know, you take a look at the name, and the average dumb retail person investing in crypto and chasing euphoria and trying to get rich quick, they're probably going to, in my opinion, chase after an altcoin that has the name AI in it. So they made it really big and ridiculous. And, you know, let's face it, people, they pumped Doge to nearly $100 billion. This is the AI bubble we're in. I believe the bubble's going to get bigger, and that an altcoin with AI in the name will benefit from that greatly. That's what I believe. I could be totally wrong. I don't like a lot of the research or the way this altcoin has gone about things as far as the team or anything. I'm going purely off narrative as far as the play here. So, yeah, with some of these altcoins, you know, again, going back to how I make my decision to buy, I weigh them off risk and potential. Chainlink to me is a low risk, high potential altcoin as far as how I have classified that one. ICP is very high risk, medium to high potential. I'd say Near Protocol is a lower risk to medium potential. FET I see as a medium-ish risk, but very high potential. You know, if FET ever did very good, I mean, you can see here high to low. I believe that was the 2 or 3 618. What the heck? I'm on the channel, that's why. Let's take a look at the fib as far as how high this one got. So yeah, this one got to the 2618 at $3. And if we just follow this channel, let's get rid of that. There we go. If we just follow this channel and say, you know what if FET were to go even higher? I mean, could FET, this isn't even the top of the channel, could it get from $5 to $7? And you know, you think of that right now, that would be a 20 to a 30x, something like that. So, I mean, people, they get into crypto wanting the 20x, wanting the 50x. This would be one I would be surprised if it didn't do anything, you know, come euphoric times for crypto, or whenever the next phase is when we see altcoins pump. So, yeah, I think that one has big potential. All right, we'll do BDX, Beldex. I've never looked at that one. BDX. And if there's any of these altcoins that you like, again, please comment on below. We'll do the KuCoin one. Why not? Man, you take a look at this one. Anytime I see extreme wicks like that, I get a little scared, not going to lie, because I'm like, it kind of seems like a bit of nonsense, or that things are being heavily manipulated. And so, yeah, high to low. I mean, there's no questioning its strength. This is back in May of 24, and this one has held up well. It's even challenging the former wick or all-time highs there. So, Beldex doing good on KuCoin. You know, I wonder, like, is this one of those that's, I mean, there it's on Binance. Is it on Coinbase yet? I don't see any Coinbase charts here. So yeah, sometimes when these coins get listed on more of the major exchanges, I do see things rug pull. But this chart's looking pretty good. Now, I do not want to buy at a premium. BDX, let's take a look at its current market cap. Is it here in the top 100? Otherwise, we'll have to search for it. There's the graph. Yeah, I don't see Beldex here, so let's let's take a look at where its market cap would be. Maybe one of you guys saw it and I overlooked it. All right, it's a number 205 crypto, current market cap of $640 million. So, one of the questions I always ask as far as potential highs is, well, if this did a 10x, that'd be $6.4 billion. Do you believe Beldex can be worth $6.4 billion? When people start making predictions for altcoins, it's like numbers don't even exist and they break away from reality. And sometimes altcoins do. But again, if this is one of those you believe in, the potential of, where are your price targets as far as market caps go? Because if this is one that does very well, it's going to blow all those fib extension levels out of the water. And I think that's where it becomes difficult as far as when to take profit. I think that's when you're looking for Ethereum, Bitcoin being up, Bitcoin dominance coming down. Let's take a look at RSI quick, and then we'll move to the next one. This is on the daily. Overall, good strength in the RSI. I mean, we even saw bullish divergence here, lower price, higher strength. We are seeing some bearish divergence here, so it is possible Beldex could be topping out soon, maybe coming back down to the golden pocket. Bobby Bone 69, what's up, bud? Hope you're doing well. We're just, kind of, you were here last night. One of the things I wanted to start doing is talking about artificial intelligence altcoins for whenever the next alt season is, as far as which ones are look promising. And we're going to go through three more: virtual, graph, and theta, and we'll finish up with that unless there's anything else to talk about. So let's first go to virtual. There's a buddy of mine that was talking about this one not long ago, just checking out the RSI. I do like the ascending strength here. I'm curious, is that going to be around the 382 or the 0.5 for the fib? As far as the RSI, this doesn't look bad. It is negative and underneath. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a little bit more oversold, maybe somewhere around 76 cents. But let's chart this puppy. And, we're going to go low to high first, and then I'll do high to low. So low to high. Okay, it's had a pullback all the way to the 786, came up. Right now it's in the golden pocket, the 618 to the 65, and almost hit that. Yeah, it hit that 6.5 target at 79 cents pretty much perfectly. I do not mind how, anytime I draw a fib, low to high, high to low, I take a look, is it respecting the fib? And overall, I'd say, yeah, this one hasn't been bad. Of course, we had that ridiculous wick back there. All right, that could be a potential bottoming area. And then if we do high to low, I'll do that. I mean, what we could also do is just draw it back to where it lines up there. Yeah, it's right at the 382. So, possible bottoming for virtual, if you believe this thing can hang on to the 382. It is very bearish. The RSI did not look the worst. We're on the daily right now. I kind of want to take a look at the 4 hour. The 20, you want to get above the 20 as well. Let's go to the 4 hour. I don't always like taking a look at the 4 hour. But some possible strength there on the 4 hour. Watch the 100 moving average. But if this higher low holds, and crypto altcoins are going to go the way the rest of the market goes. So if Bitcoin's going down to 70K anytime in the near future, do not be surprised to see 65 cents. But yeah, virtual, it's at one of those important supports right now. And then the graph, that was the next one we were going to take a look at, the graph. By the way, as far as my YouTube shorts, someone requested altcoin analysis on the graph a while ago. I think it's one of my first YouTube shorts. And that was one of my best videos as far as views go. So it's just interesting. When I see that, that tells me that, there's a community out there for the graph, or GRT. Here we go. It's probably the Binance. Yep, there we go. It's the Binance one. So here you can see I have this high to low drawn there. I mean, even if we were to draw it from that low here, we broke underneath that. And the graph right now, we do have that double bottom as far as these wicks. And this looks like it's going towards those wicks. So we talked about ICP earlier, following that 100-week moving average down. The graph is looking pretty bad here. Anytime you're underneath the 382, things can get very bad. But again, with quantitative easing coming back into the markets sometime in the near future, watch altcoins like these to see how they recover, because sometimes these things can do a massive V-shaped recovery that people miss the bottom of, and they blast out of here. So, as far as the graph, current price of around 4.5 cents. So the 9 cent figures are good. 4.5 times 2 is 9. Times 20, that would be 90 cents. And then, yeah, I'm just looking at as far as if it got back up to the 888 or 786. You're going to get amazing returns if this one ever goes back up, even to some of these higher fib levels. I mean, my God, a 2,000% return. Do I believe that's going to happen for the graph? No. And a lot of people, I think a lot of crypto people on YouTube and Twitter make this mistake. They're like, well, if it just goes back up to its former all-time high, you'll get this much of a return. And they say it in a way like, oh, it's going to happen. But I'm not here to tell you that. You can see from that high to low, we barely even got to that 618. And actually, I mean, this looks like a 0.5 retrace right here. Let's just take a look at that from this high to low. Yeah, that was right at that 0.5 retrace. Okay, see that there. As far as I'm just measuring all the highs to lows that the graph does, seeing if we have a pattern. From that high to low, it had a 618 golden pocket retrace, so that one was a little bit stronger. And then, I mean, that was shorter, but I would say, from this high to low right here, I'm just taking a look. The golden pocket is right there at the 382. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of call it right there. The graph would need to get above 12 cents to 17 cents to come back to life again. So that's right in here. But this thing, even though it's an AI altcoin, do be careful of this. I've seen altcoins with all the good news and research and background just completely die. And more often than not, they have a chart like this. They have a chart like ICP where they just go down forever. There's an altcoin I remember from last cycle, God's Unchained. Yep. Look how this thing just dies. You can see it charted before. But my God, this is what those altcoins look like. They go down forever and ever. So yeah, do be careful with altcoin charts. I do not like any chart that looks like that, where it just dies over time. I'm trying to think of if there's any that I've ever seen eventually work out for people. Lastly, we'll go to Theta token, and then we'll steer the conversation to anything else. So Theta token, you see some levels of support and resistance back here. Maybe it could get down even lower, but I think, we'll do the low to high first. We'll start from right here. For Theta, low to high, it's had a golden pocket pullback here or it got as high as $16, and it came all the way down to 32 cents. So, that's quite a fall as far as percentage wise. I mean, my God, what is that? A 98%. So, yeah, you're getting this thing at a major discount, but discount implies that there's value. So that's low to high. If we do high to low, I would be going back to here. You'd see it's losing that 382, and the 236 is down there as well. I'm curious about this wick being there. If we draw it high to low and go to this bottom, that wick perfectly hits the 236. So if this thing continues to die, watch what happens there. Do we have any positive divergence as far as RSI goes? We could take a look at the RSI. Yeah, this thing's just looking pretty bad right here. Bearish right here, and it's just continuing to go down. So yeah, don't love anything about that. Anyways, that does it for today as far as just doing technical analysis of all these different AI altcoins. Let me know what you think, whether you're watching in replay or in future videos. This is something I wanted to chew on with you guys today. It looks like doing the live streams later at night, we get more interaction. So note it. I'll try to do that more in the future. Did try to do it earlier, just couldn't get online and around 10 to 11 like I usually do on Fridays. So yeah, if you're watching in replay, hope you're doing well. But again, as far as altcoins go, I'm not here to rehash, what I'm looking for as far as alt season, why I believe in alt season. The number one thing as far as alts go is picking the right alt. That is not an easy thing to do. So I judge based on risk versus potential. And AI altcoins, I think if we had any sort of an alt season within the next, few years, that AI altcoins would be one that it would be worth your time to research and pay attention to and try to pick up some at these lows. Even if you don't believe we're going to get another classic alt season, I think we're getting near some of them prices that are, too good to ignore. So anyways, that'll do it for today. Bitcoin is still doing the same old things. We talked about 94K being a tough area. It got rejected once again off that 20-day, but we'll see. Maybe Bitcoin can continue to make some higher lows, and eventually, it's going to decide whether or not, wants to break back down or get above that area. But we talked about this on the liquidation heat map. There's a lot of shorts piled in around that 94, 95K area. That is going to be a big test for Bitcoin. And then you just go by levels. 116 is the next major level. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Take care.